What is up, everybody? It's Joe from JLB Games coming at you with another cool video back in Planet Coaster, and it's been a while since I have done a time-lapsed series, and this one I think is going to be special because this park has been completely planned out and ready to go. So these time lapses is pretty much planned of what I'm gonna do beforehand each and every time. No more improvisation at least in this park. This park is completely planned out. At least each episode is planned out of what I'm going to build. Now this park is going to be called Westwood, and it's going to be an 1890s themed theme park. Now it's going to have kind of that westerny theme, if that's kind of how you want to view it. Now, in this episode, we are literally just building the entrance area of the park. Now, the entrance area includes the ticket booth, the front entrance, and also kind of like a, what is it? Kind of like a photo booth slash shop, which we'll get into that in a little bit. So I want to talk a little bit about this park. Now I prepped some of the landscaping around the area of the park just a little bit beforehand to get a feel of what the, kind of what it's going to be. There's going to be some terrainy moments in the park. So this park is going to be very time consuming. I'm going to be really trying to focus on a lot of detailing, and so hopefully it turns out to be everything I hoped. And the entrance does turn out at least pretty decent, I think. Now this is all planned out. I like to hear what you guys think in the comments, but this park already has planned. I already know what type of roller coasters I'm going to kind of do, at least almost know. Now, I won't be, doing an episode and doing any work that is not planned out. So, this entrance was planned out kind of before I started it. I had an idea of what I wanted already. I already knew what it was going to be. I knew I was going to do the ticket booth and kind of the little photo booth, and also the entrance building also had an idea of how it's going to look. Now, I love having the custom text because now we can put whatever we want on those boards and stuff like that. Now, this park is, it's heavily inspired by a couple things. Now, I want you to think kind of like a family-owned park, and we're going to go ahead in that direction for this park itself. Now, I want you to kind of maybe visualize a park maybe like Silver Dollar City, possibly Dollywood, certain parks like that. And this is kind of going to fall into that category in a way. Now, I feel like this park is going to be very heavily inspired by Silver Dollar City. Just the way the theming is, because it is an 1890s theme. Silver Dollar City has a 1880s theme, and this one will have an 1890s theme. I said 1890s, right? I could have said 1990s. I meant 1880s if I did say that. I don't know exactly what I said. But anyways, it's going to have an 1890s theme because I want it to be slightly different than Silver Dollar City. But just so you know, Silver Dollar City has a lot of inspiration towards this park in a way. Now, by no means is it going to have a similar layout or anything like that, but you're going to see probably a lot of similar ride types, maybe. Like a RMC wooden coaster is definitely in my mind for this park. That is one of the coasters guaranteed to go in to this park, and I already know where it's going to go in the park. So I'm going to be planning out the path layout and stuff like that in the future. And yeah, I really wanted to detail the entrance a little bit to make you feel like you are entering a Western kind of theme park. So the entrance area is very have a lot of a westerny theme to it. The whole park is going to have the western theme, and I want to make sure everyone is aware of that. It's not going to have multiple themes. It's going to have sections and stuff like that, but it's all going to be around that 1890s theme, and stuff like that. As for other coasters that are going in, so we're going to have a wooden RMC, so the topper track is definitely going to be going in. So that is one. I also want to have a B&M floorless coaster, and that is two. And the third one, third one is a little bit undecided. I'm going to go with a mine train or a aero coaster, like the aero looping. I don't know which one would fit better, but it will most likely be the mine train. I feel like that's what is going to ultimately be. Now, I do potentially also want to have a dark ride in this park as well, because and do something very different with this dark ride, rather than what I've done in the past with dark rides. So it's going to be interesting. We're also going to see a log flume and river rapids ride in this park. So you can see those water rides will also make an appearance in this park in the end. So a lot of people say I work very slow, that I build very slow, and I take no shame in that. I really don't. I'm very proud that I take my time in my parks to make them turn out the way I want, and that's kind of my idea here, is that I'm not going to rush myself, and that is the reason for the time lapses too. So you guys can see, over an hour of footage within, under 20 minutes and stuff like that. That is my treat to you, because a lot of you don't want to sit around and watch a 4-hour live stream and stuff like that. So I want to try and keep these videos coming, because a lot of people have missed the shorter videos rather than the live streams. It's not going to take live streams away at all. The live streams are still going to go on, but for this particular park is going to be exclusively just the time-lapsed videos. So I want to make sure everyone's clear on that, and and again, I'm always open for suggestions for parks, but just keep in mind that this already has a plan behind it, and that sort of aspect. Now over here is going to be the ticket booth. Is what this building is going to be. I decided to go with 3 information booth stalls, where you can also buy priority passes and stuff like that. So that is going to be a thing to make sure that the priority passes will be available for guests, and make sure that we create those priority pass entrances for our rides as well. So a lot of planning has been going into this park. I've been working on the landscaping and planning on this park probably for the last week now, and I've been dying to get started on it, but I didn't want to make a video before I had a plan of how it was going to look. So I've already been planning the next episode as well, and trying to figure out how that one's going to go down. Now when I say planning, I have an idea of what I want, and that's how it's going to look. Now, as for building wise and stuff like that, they're going to slightly be improvised, but I have an idea of what they're going to look like in my head already. So that is going to be a huge plus, I think, for the park, is that most of it's going to be planned and everything like that. So, and I think that is going to be a huge thing. So I love having these custom signs now, being able to do our custom text, and these westerny signs will work really well. I was using a lot of the western filters to find a lot of things, and it helped out a lot. So detailing, I've always had issues detailing my buildings and stuff the way I want. So under these doors and stuff, I wanted to put a sign that said guest relations. So this is also the guest relations building. If there's like guest complaints and stuff like that, I want to make sure there's a realism aspect to this park, like completely real, make it feel like it could be real. And that is my absolute goal for this park, is to make sure it can feel real. Now, I've also wanted to add a wooden coaster in this park on top of some of the other rides. I think it would fit that with, an RMC wooden coaster as well. That way you get kind of the best of both worlds with a, like a GCI and then also an RMC. I think that would be a kind of a cool combination and just work with the park lineup. But I want to make sure I have those steel coasters too. And I think a lot of wooden coasters or mine trains, fit very well in the theming of this kind of park, and less steel. I still have the steel coasters there, but I feel like they just don't fit as well. If you theme them up right, you can definitely make them, but a lot of wooden coasters and family attractions is what's definitely going to go into this park. Now, this park isn't going to be, like Cedar Point huge or anything. It's going to be more like a family park, or a family-owned family park, pretty much. So it's gonna have a decent size to it, but it's not going to be out of the ordinary. And I want to say this: so the previous parks that I've made, like Mystic Bay and the Midway Park and stuff like that, those parks weren't planned out. Those were all pretty much improv, go as I go, kind of. And the thing just kind of went as I went, and stuff like that. They weren't really planned out. And I wasn't feeling as comfortable with them while I was building them. And about 3/4 of the way getting through those parks, I was like, I just want to move on to my next park and plan it a little bit better. Because I learn more and more for each park I do. I learn more and more of how to make my parks better. And doing more projects really helps. So that's one thing I have learned, is do multiple projects at a time and just keep doing them. And, eventually you're going to finish a park that you're very pleased with. And I hope this is the park that does that. And, I love having Western themed parks. And it's one of my favorite themes to do in these kind of games, because I just love the theming behind them, and the old school, old style type stuff. The wooden buildings, the saloons, and stuff like that. The stagecoaches, the wagons, and all that stuff. It's just fascinating to me, and you can just make it look. And they usually are very beautiful parks and stuff like that. The theme parks. And like that, I prefer theme parks. I love seeing the story behind the rides, the story behind the park itself. They have a story to them, and I want to make sure each ride in this park has a story and stuff like that. So I am still planning kind of like the theme of the rides and stuff. That is something that is being developed, and this is going to be kind of a slow-paced series. You're probably not going to see an episode every single day, probably a couple each week, and that's because I'm gonna plan it as I go along. And, I already have the general plan down, but each section I do, each video I do, I want to make sure everything I'm doing is planned out before I do it. So like, I'm planning out the entrance after the turnstile, is going to be the next episode and stuff like that. That's going to be all planned out and works here. So this other building over here has photos, and I just put headwear because it's a Hats Fantastic stall. And I wanted to put, I put another sign here, that just says like Westwood Supply, which is kind of a cool little thing because it's a building that, souvenir photos, how they take your photos at the entrance of the park and stuff sometimes, and they can sell it to you like at the end of the day. That's kind of what that booth is actually for. And then, headwear, it's going to have like cowboy hats and stuff like that. I had to put something in there to fill in the gap in this, and I thought it would be cool to, call it Westwood Supply, the supply building right outside the entrance. So it just adds on to the entrance area, and I think it works fairly well, or quite well, in this aspect. Now, and the reason I also didn't want to do a live stream is because I didn't want to feel rushed in the park. Usually when I do my live stream parks, I feel like I get pressured into rushing the park and to areas I don't want it to go. And when I say that is because in the chat, everyone always yells, build a coaster, build a roller coaster, build a log flume, build a roller coaster. Why aren't you building a roller coaster? And like, I literally am at the entrance of the park and haven't even, got to that section and stuff. It's like, this stuff has to be built too, and I don't want to rush anything. Now, I don't exactly entirely know when I'm going to get to the first coaster in this series. It could be, 10 episodes in, or 2 or 3 episodes in. You never know. And that's okay, because as long as I do it right and get this park completed the right way. This is a full launch park, so the game is fully launched, and this park is being constructed. So this is my first full launch park, and I can't wait to share it with you guys and see what you guys think, because this is I would almost say this is going to be my dream park. And with the other parks, I was going to have it in the JLW Entertainment chain and continue on to those, but now that it's kind of a separate file and thing, I would have to convert or transfer it over to the final release. And it's just full of beta or not even beta, alpha stuff and stuff like that. I want to say that this park is going to be the first official park in the JLW chain. And I know a lot of you liked Mystic Bay and Midway Park and stuff, but those parks, they were rushed, and I did not really care for them. And to be all honest, this park I think is going to be way different. I'm not going to rush it, and it is going to be amazing, at least I hope. So that's about it for building. I do just finish up the railings here, and when we get into the next episode, we're going to get into the entrance of the park. This is the entrance area, so we're getting into the actual entrance of the park, which I already have some cool ideas planned out, and I hope I'm hoping that it will turn out. So anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. Let me guys know what you think about this park so far and the idea behind it, and always open for feedback and suggestions. So this will be the first JLW Entertainment chain park that we will finish and stuff. I can't wait to get into the park, and I know I don't want to rush it. So that's about it. Make sure you guys have a great day and even cooler tomorrow, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you later. Thanks, and goodbye.